Hearts have already shown that there is life after Colin Cameron, and Craig Levine's young side hope to prove that again at Tynecastle tonight. They face Dick Advocat's Rangers, who haven't lost at Tynecastle in 3 years. That's a record they hope to keep intact. Exclusively live from Tynecastle, it's Hearts against Rangers. Well, after a botched attempt to secure a World Cup path to Japan and Korea, normal SPL business resumes tonight. Rangers still have a list of absentees the length of your arm, but with the UEFA Cup beckoning next week, they want to set themselves up with a win at Tynecastle here tonight. Charlie Nicholas, is there big pressure on Rangers to do that tonight?
It's pressure every week, every game the Rangers face now is pressure. They need to catch Celtic. In saying that, they never get it easy here at Tynecastle. Tynecastle, we've lost Colin Cameron from here, but they've added well. Stefan Mahe came from Celtic. If they start aggressively tonight, Hearts, then they'll test Rangers to the limit. We always get a good game. We won't be disappointed tonight. OK, Charlie. Well, there have already been 5 games in the SPL this afternoon, and they resulted Aberdeen 2, Kilmarnock 0, Celtic 3, Dunfermline 1, Dundee 1, St Johnstone 1, Livingston 2, Dundee United 0, Motherwell 1, Hibernian 3. So Celtic lead the table by 5 points, but a Rangers win tonight would cut that to 2. A Hearts win here at Tynecastle, and they would go second outright. So it's Hearts against Rangers. Let's join Davy Provan, and first, Ian Crocker.
Thank you, Jim. Well, Hearts' new captain, Stephen Pressley, has recovered from the ankle injury that forced him out of the Scotland reckoning this week. Presley's presence against his former club allows fellow defender Kevin McKenna to continue in an emergency strike role, and he'll be partnered up front by Andy Kirk because Gary Wales has a twisted knee. Fit again, Stefan Adam is on the bench, and Rangers face an old foe in former Celtic man Stefan Mahe. So often when we see a Rangers team sheet, we end up talking about those not on it. Here we go again. Incredibly, all of the following are injured: Amoruso, Rayner, Ferguson, Moles, Nerlinger, Wilson, Moore, and new signings Ball and Arveladze. 7 of those probably would have started today. Oh, Neil McCann is suspended as well, so basically what's left is listed here. With Dodds and Kanigia on the bench, Ronald de Boer is pushed up front.
Yeah, better injury news for Hearts team because Stephen Pressley has recovered from the injury he picked up while away with Scotland this week. It's a back 4 that starts for Craig Levein this afternoon. Both Flugel and Mahe, we know, like to get forward, play on the front foot. I think Mahe may find it difficult this afternoon, though, with Andrei Kanchelskis playing wide right for Rangers down that side. For Rangers, De Boer and Flo up front, but Latipi, I think, is going to be the problem for Hearts this afternoon, and Rangers have managed to get him into the areas in which he does his best work. At times, I think he played too deep for Hibs last season. Playing further forward now, and unless you man-mark him, he can give you problems. In the midfield area, well, we've set Hearts up with a 3. Will it become a 4, I think, anytime they lose the ball, because Juanjo will drop off on the right-hand side and make up a 4. Young Stephen Simmons playing right side. Scott Severin, I think, will enjoy the challenge with Fernando Ritson. That's going to be meaty. Stephen Fulton asked to supply the passes to the front men. Rangers, as I said, with Kanchelskis wide right. Ritson, who had done so well out in the touchline, playing one in. Good chance to see young Stephen Hughes again, and what has been a miserable week for the full international team. Let's hope he can go all the way. Arthur Newman playing on his outside. Up front for Hearts, well, Kevin McKenna, as you said, Ian, the emergency striker. And you just wonder how Stefan Adam and Gary McSwegan feel. They're on the bench tonight as he partners Andy Kirk. Kirk, very, very mobile, a great finisher. And the contest between him and Bert Konteman, I think, really will have an influence in this match. Konteman has been superb anchoring the midfield, but doesn't always look comfortable when he has to play in the back line protecting his goalkeeper.
Well, it's Hearts' first home game since the sale of captain Colin Cameron to Wolves, and there are still fears that Antti Niemi could be on his way too, but they've kind of got used to seeing their best players disappear from here. Rangers really do have an excellent record against Hearts. They've won their last 9 encounters with the Jambos. When you're second best in Edinburgh and Glasgow, it hurts. Hearts and Rangers are desperate to emerge from the shadows of Hibs and Celtic. booed today. Russell Latterby always fared rather well for Hibs against Hearts. 3 goals and an unbeaten record in 6 Edinburgh derbies. The Tynecastle faithful will have noted as much. Niemi was discarded by Dick Advocaat 3 years ago. After a pretty decent week with Finland, he'd love to put one over the man who didn't really rate him. You could say Dick was obviously a bit anti-Niemi. Stephen Pressley was one of 5 players sent off when Hearts and Rangers met last season, and Hugh Dallas was responsible for his red card and for one shown to Barry Ferguson here in May. Dick Advocaat lost his very first league match in charge of Rangers on this ground 3 years ago, but he soon got to like the fixture. He's won 10 of the 11 encounters since in the Scottish Premier League. Craig Levein only just made it to the game himself. He's suffering from a rather nasty bout of food poisoning and really is not well at all, but said he just couldn't stay away. Rangers looking to return within 2 points of Celtic. Hearts, though, could actually jump above Rangers and into second place, so an added incentive for them. Not that you really need added incentives when the old firm come to town. These Edinburgh-Glasgow contests are always a bit tasty, always a bit feisty. McKenna getting in Kirk's way, if anything. And here is Kanchelskis, who made a surprise start in Fenerbahce recently. Kanchelskis, one of perhaps a few Rangers players who probably still owe the club a little bit. But it really is a decimated team. 10 players unavailable today, and we reckon that 7 or 8 of them probably would have started this match. So it's pretty much Rangers reserves.
Yeah, I think Craig Levein would like to have Rangers injury problems, Ian, because they've still got a pretty decent side out here tonight. And if you consider the ones that can't play, if they can get them all fit, I think they'll be pretty strong.
Well, Rangers are the only team in the Scottish Premier League with a 100% away record this season. They'll be looking to preserve that record here in the Scottish capital as Severin immediately puts himself about Latterby. Stefan Klos has only conceded 1 goal on the road this season, and he scored it, an own goal at Dunfermline. That's as far as league games are concerned. Ronald de Boer flicked it on, but it drops the wrong side of Flo, and here's Stephen Pressley, past fit. Injured his ankle on the first day of training with Scotland, hence he didn't play a part in any of the internationals. Stevie Fulton was caught napping by Ronald de Boer. Latterby. That's neat between de Boer and Latterby, and Tor-Andre Flo could benefit, and Rickson is in the box. Getting it in the box might be a problem though, because Thomas Flogel has intervened. Here is McKenna, the Canadian international, who is a defender, has been pushed into emergency striking role. This is his 3rd game in that role.
Yeah, as I was saying, you just wonder how Stefan Adam and Gary McSwiggan feel. They're sitting on the bench tonight watching a lad who arrived at the club as a centre-half playing in their place.
Wanjo delivers, it's aimed towards McKenna. Rickson got into by Severin, and it'll be a free kick.
Yeah, he stood his ground here, Fernando Rickson. He knew he was going to be caught late there.
Stephen Simmons it was, in fact, the youngster who's impressed in his run in the team this season. Rangers keen to keep the heat on Celtic. Hearts hoping to go as high as 2nd in the table for the first time in over 3 years. Ronald de Boer's knocked down Latterby, who has often broken hearts in Edinburgh derbies.
Good knockdown by Ronald de Boer there, who at times is going to have to play up front. Flo likes to drop off. He's going to have to play forward tonight, de Boer. And a good knockdown there for Latterby. He managed to get a yard on Scott Severin, never really got over it.
De Boer, like so many, has had his fair share of injury problems in his time at Rangers, and we've yet to see the best of him either. Chelskis, now Rickson, who might just be starting to come good. It was a crunching collision with Simmons, but here goes Fulton. McKenna leaves it for Simmons. Just 19 years of age, Stephen Simmons. He was actually with Celtic Boys Club.
Well, they clattered Fernando Rickson a moment ago, and he's just clattered him again.
Stephen Hughes went sliding in with Quanjo, and a word of warning for him from Hugh Dallas.
Yeah, I think he's paying Fernando Rickson's bill for him here, to be honest with you, Ian. And again, the challenge is well late.
Stevie Fulton stands over the free kick. Hearts hoping to strike early. Quanjo, who is out of contract next month and may well be leaving the club, not too impressed with Hearts' new offer. Here's Thomas Flögel, who's been on international duty with Austria. Decent delivery, that one. And it was Morris Ross who just took it away from McKenna. And Chelskis sends it into the stand. Stefan Mahi, who has had his moments against Rangers in the past with Celtic, sent off twice in Old Firm games. There's Arthur Newman, who's just agreed a new contract despite the arrival of Michael Ball at the club. He might well be after his job. Tony Vidmar. Oh dear, that's in between two. With the Rangers. Morris Ross has done a pretty decent job when he's been called upon this season, getting a little run in the side because of Rangers' injury problems, and he's got the goal kick-off. Kevin McKenna.
Yeah, good crisp challenge there from young Morris Ross, who we saw at Dunfermline play so well, Ian, and it must be encouraging for both Dick Advocaat and David Murray to see the emergence of players like Morris Ross and Stephen Hughes.
In the two Tynecastle tussles between these teams last season, there were 4 red cards in all. Arthur Newman and Claudio Reyna were sent off in the December clash, and Barry Ferguson and Stephen Pressley walked on a day in May, and Colin Cameron was sent off at Ibrox, so there's a bit of red card history between Hearts and Rangers. Stephen Hughes is another of Rangers' rising stars. Another will take the throw in Ross. It's come off Andy Webster. Not quite sure what the plan was from the throw-in, but they presented Scott Severin with a chance. Severin, who scored a screamer last time out at Dunfermline. Hearts have actually had a pretty decent start to the season. Mahi's header. Arthur Newman, well, he nearly set up Kirk and it came back. Oh, and McKenna! What a start for Hearts, and it's the emergency striker, Kevin McKenna, who has fired them ahead.
Well, maybe that's why Gary McSweeney and Stefan Adam are warming the both sides in the bench. It was a terrific finish. Bert Konteman actually did reasonably well. Arthur Newman heads it back into a dangerous position. Konteman did his bit, but it broke beautifully for him. And what a good finish. One thing in his mind to hit it down into the ground here. It sits up, back down into the ground. And well, you can't blame Stefan Klos there.
Craig Levine's bout of food poisoning might be coming to an end if his team carry on like this. Kevin McKenna, who's normally a central defender, for the last few games has been pushed up front. And No wonder if he can finish like that. The Rangers fans behind Stefan Kloss's goal are still voicing their support for their team. But Hearts off to a flyer as they look to beat Rangers for the first time in over 3 years. In fact, they haven't really managed much in the way of draws against them either lately. Onside rather, Flo trying to get in, and Pressley turned it back to Niemi. Here's Juanjo, who was given his chance in the Barcelona team by Bobby Robson. Flogel's header. Foul on Newman by Juanjo. Goal kick is going to be the outcome of that, and Rangers rocked by that early goal from McKenna.
Yeah, it came from Arthur Newman's back header as well, Ian. But Konteman tried to get the clearance away, and as it broke back there for McKenna, what a good job he made of it.
He's only 21, but he has given Dick Advocaat early problems at Tynecastle. Rangers won't want to lose ground on Celtic at the top, but Hearts, of course, themselves could go second today. Ronald de Boer's going to be in here. He's onside. It's de Boer, but it's tame, and it's straight at Niemi.
Well, de Boer did well because he was off and he managed to get back on just as the ball's played. You see him steps back the way to get himself on. First touch was reasonably good there, and maybe just didn't have the pace to get away completely. Buy a bit of time to get the shot in.
Juanjo. Hearts are really, really fired up for this, and they're going to get a corner. During Craig Levine's reign as manager of Hearts, they've only actually lost to 2 teams here at Tynecastle, Rangers and Celtic. Stevie Fulton goes for the short corner to Simmons, who won the corner. Fulton floats it in, away by Ross, but it's going to drop for Juanjo, and he was mugged by Latipi. Stephen Pressley fouling for Andre Flo, free kick.
Well, I think Stephen Pressley tries to keep his hands out of this challenge altogether here. He has to go over the top. There's not a great deal of use of the arms there. I think he's unlucky to be penalised.
Stephen Hughes. Newman. Hughes has Fulton quickly in on him. Now Andy Kirk. Konteman in close attendance. Free kick's going to be given against Kirk. Andrei Kanchelskis now trying to inspire Rangers. Fernando Rickson. Offside against Kanchelskis.
Couldn't have been much in it there. He's looking right across the line at the last defender. Must have been away a fraction early. Stefan Mahe, the deepest defender. Well, he's level, he's onside. The Hearts having a better of the action areas, and I would imagine Craig Levine will be well pleased with this start, and certainly delighted at the goal from Kevin McKenna.
Well, there's a long way to go, but a defeat for Rangers here would almost lurch them back into crisis. That's the way it works in Scotland, and in Glasgow in particular. Fernando Rickson taken out by Simmons.
I thought we might have seen a yellow card there. He's really walking in ice, the youngster now. He's had 3 of them.
Konteman finds his fellow countryman. Newman. A hint of a boo as Latipi gave it to Hughes. Now Andrei Kanchelskis. was blocked by Webster. Fouled by Maurice Ross on Andy Kirk. Two of the game's young-uns. Kevin McKenna's goal has given Hearts an early lead in this battle between the two teams who had to play second fiddle to their respective city rivals last season, as Hibs and Celtic ruled the roost. Flo trying to get in, but Webster comes across. A bargain by Andy Webster from Arbroath last season. Here's Rickson. Oh, it's actually cannoned off Webster into the path of Flo. Hughes sets it up for Newman, who skips past Quanjo, and his cross comes to Russell Latapi. Oh yes! Isn't that just typical? The former Hibs man, Latapi, scores against Hearts, and Rangers are level.
Well, it's another great finish, and as the ball comes in, you'll see he sets himself, he knows it's coming in. They patiently managed to build it up until they got it wide. As it comes in, watch him set himself. Terrific strike there from just inside the box. Slices across the ball, moving away from Yemi. Now Newman, you have to say, did well, had the aggression and the will to get himself to the byline.
Well, he scored from the spot against Aberdeen, he scored at Dunfermline, and now he's scored here at Hearts, and quickly silenced the Boo Boys. He always did well against Hearts and had to be in the Edinburgh derbies, especially in that amazing 6-2 game last season, and he's rescued Rangers here. De Boer shrugs off Webster. Well stopped by Niemi, and Webster recovered to put it away.
Well, Andy Webster sold himself here, and he doesn't really have to try and win this. His goal side of De Boer dived in there, took himself out of the game, and all of a sudden De Boer was in on Niemi.
Cracking start to this Hearts Rangers encounter. Latapi's corner goes right into the thick of it. Comes to Ronald De Boer. Away by Stephen Pressley, but Hearts with everybody back behind the ball, so it'll be retrieved by Fernando Rickson. Now the goal scorer Latapi. Ronald De Boer unable to contend with Quanjo and Flogel. And relief for Rangers that they drew level so quickly. Russell Latapi becoming one of their main marksmen in the Scottish Premier League this season. Webster beat Flo to that. Fulton gives it to Mahi. Severin on to Pressley. Fulton steers it on towards McKenna. But here's Andrei Kanchelskis. Rangers will find out on Monday whether they have to go to war-torn Dagestan for their UEFA Cup tie. Incredibly, UEFA dragging out their decision as to whether Dick Advocaat and co must travel. It's astonishing that they're even considering it, really. Now Andy Kirk's trying to get in, and McKenna again went for a bit of a curler that time, except that there was no curl on it.
He did really well. He's outnumbered 2-1 here as the ball is played forward. Not prepared to give it up there, but the break of the ball against Vidmar. To be here getting his reward for supporting his front players in. Steadied himself, hit it with a bit of slice, and got the break off the inside of the post. Well, didn't he enjoy it?
And even though his spell at Hibs ended on a bit of a sour note, he did make a massive contribution for them. Now Kirk again, he really is a promising youngster. He's going to lose out that time to Maurice Ross, but he's already a full Northern Ireland international. Fulton's cross. Hughes' clearance has only gone to Kirk, who was perhaps a little rash that time. Craig Levein took over last December and nearly sneaked into Europe. That'll be his target this time. He's feeling really rough, remember, about a food poisoning. And he said he wasn't quite sure whether he was going to feel better or worse by 7:30 tonight. It's honours even at the moment. Ross. Kanchelskis available. Latapi. Kanchelskis looking for Ronald de Boer. What a cross that was. Vogel just got to it.
To tuck in here, and when you're playing a back four, gets himself round the back there, Thomas Flugel, and it's a good interception because it was a dangerous ball in for De Boer.
Konterman, slightly overhit, to say the least, and straight down the middle anyway, which wasn't much use to Ronald de Boer, who'd pulled away to the left. Stephen Presley started his career with the Rangers. Flugel. Up towards Kirk and Guangzhou, and Andy Kirk has shrugged off Konterman. Into the side netting goal kick, but Kirk looking lively.
He did well there. Good body strength by Kirk there. Konterman ended up wrong side of him.
De Boer absolutely skinned Stephen Presley there. He looks up for it. And Tooron Flo just caught Stefan Mahi. Slap that one out. Approaching the midway point of the first half. Niemi, former Rangers keeper, of course, and Rangers have made an absolute mess of the throw, much to his delight, no doubt. And a foul by Konterman on McKenna. Konterman back in defence today, having played a midfield role for much of the season. Harry Ferguson's role in the main. Now who's it going to drop for? The answer was Kirk, but he was blocked by Ross. Flo. Well held up by the giant Norwegian. De Boer wants it, and he's going to get it from Kanchelskis. Hasn't really got any support over there, but he Thomas Flugel quickly in on him.
I don't know why defenders do this here. Ronald de Boer's going nowhere. He's getting into the corner here. Now Rangers have a free kick in a position where Hearts are going to have to defend it right on top of the goalkeeper.
Russell Latapi scored Rangers' goal. Can he create one for them? Latapi delivers, and Ross was on the end of it, but pretty comfortable for Niemi.
It's a pretty clean header he gets at the back post. He's up above Thomas Flugel. I think he had to go back across Niemi to be to be fair, to give Hearts any problem.
Here is Maurice Ross. Essentially come off Flo as Webster stuck close to him again. Rangers edging it as far as the possession is concerned. But it's all square as far as goals are concerned. McKenna losing out to Hughes. Vidmar to Newman. De Boer. Latterby finds Fernando Rickson. Could open up again for Rangers, perhaps. Arthur Newman. Rangers biding their time as they happily spray some passes around, but Stefan Mahi is determined as ever. And Mahi and Rickson, now there's a pairing. They square up to each other.
Oh, Hugh Dallas had a good look at it, Dean. Hasn't produced a card so far. And it's the afters here. Certainly in reasonably high there, Stefan Mahi, but it was a use of the arm as well.
Well, he once sent off Stefan Mahi, as you might just remember, in an Old Firm game a couple of years ago at Celtic Park, but just a ticking off there for the fiery Frenchman. No card. The thoughts of Rickson and Mahi in close attendance to each other is probably not worth viewing until after midnight. Maurice Ross. Rangers seeking a 6th successive win at Tynecastle. Happy ground for them. Vidmar. Newman had to be crowded out by Simmons and Quanjo. And Stephen Simmons has done very well. It's going to be a corner.
Doesn't look fazed by it at all. Put himself about with a few crunching tackles and looks very comfortable. And Stephen Fulton, I think, will drop this right on top of Stefan Klosses if he can.
Fulton floats it in, and Webster got on the end of it, but it was stopped by Stefan Klos. He was alert to the danger. Here's Quanjo, ready to have a run at Rangers. Going to go for goal as well. Stinging drive, spectacular save.
That's a wonderful save. Couldn't really have struck this much better. Moving very slightly right to left. And Klos, right arm fully extended, did well.
Stevie Fulton can try again from the corner. Aim towards McKenna. And another corner, this time on the other side. As Hearts put the pressure on. Quanjo will deliver this one. Stefan Klos got a fist to it. Presley will latch onto that. Now Stefan Mahi adding experience to what is generally a pretty young squad. Ross just hooked that away from Kirk. The Hearts fans felt that there should have been a free kick going in favour of their team, but many others did. Here's Quanjo being trapped by Fernando Rickson, who successfully fended him off. Russell Latterby. Flo. I think he raised a boot then. Dallas taking no nonsense as usual. In the summer he refereed a World Cup qualifier between Uruguay and Brazil, which must have been fun for him. Here's Flogel. And McKenna's going to get to that. If anything, he cleared it on behalf of Rangers. Kanchelskis. Latterby closed down. Newman. Flo in ahead of Pressley, but he won't be there for the return from Hughes. Pressley will. Fulton. It's certainly pass a ball, and he's proved it. And Juanjo, look at his back tackling him, Latterby.
Yeah, it's good defending by Russell Latterby. It was Tony Vidmar who played him onside there in the wide right position.
Half an hour played, Hearts forcing another corner. Everybody jostles for position. Stevie Fulton sent it in, and Webster was nearly there, so was McKenna. Hoisted away by Arthur Newman in the end. Now Ross. Kanchelskis. Vogel is covering. Nicely done by the Austrian. Here's Andy Kirk, who's already represented Northern Ireland at full international level. Hearts with a 100% home record this season, and only one other team in the Scottish Premier League can boast that. Guess who they are? Celtic, the leaders. Dundee did have until their draw today with St Johnstone. Severin's effort was snuffed out by Hughes. Here's Fulton. Andy Webster, who'd actually gone 4 games without letting a goal in whilst he was in the team until Latterby struck. It's come off the Canadian McKenna, who completed a permanent move from the German club Energie Cottbus after a pretty decent loan spell. Morris Ross finds his fellow kid. Stephen Hughes, how about that for a pass? Hughes has put Ronald De Boer in. And De Boer is in. Here's Flo. Trying to do a little too much in the end.
De Boer did superbly there.
Rickson has had a promising start to the season after a rather interesting first year in Scotland. Fernando Rickson. Firm header from Webster. Conterman with a hit and hope, which Pressley meets. Here's Mahi, who spins away from Rickson. McKenna chasing, but Conterman got there first. McKenna happy to let him do so. Now Simmons. Oh, Simmons stays on his feet. And Arthur Newman's going to clear it, but perhaps deserved better reward. Kanchelskis. Hughes. Arthur Newman. Hughes. Eriksson as Rangers take the patient approach. Kanchelskis. Well, it was Webster who got a flip on it and just took it away from all comers.
Well, just as well, because De Boer and Flo were on the end of it had they not done that, Ian.
Guangzhou blocks Newman's route. And Newman blocks Guangzhou's route.
Well, this kid's only 19, but how's this for confidence? Steps away from Latipi, takes 2 out, 3 out, thinks about going down there, stayed up, and couldn't find the maroon jersey. Terrific one.
Well, they have been raving about him at Tynecastle, preferring to concentrate on the more positive aspects of the club rather than the negatives, like the departure of Colin Cameron, the captain to Wolves. They've always brought through a few good kids here. Ronald De Boer now. Severin's clearance only goes to Hughes. Flo. Newman. De Boer chesting it down for Flo, who couldn't quite return the favour. Webster in the way. Eriksson has nicked it off the toes of Severin, but Severin nearly recovered, and then Richter nearly got another sniff. And he's been taken out by Simmons, and that's going to be a free kick in a highly promising position for Rangers.
Yeah, a couple of unusual mistakes by Scott Severin, who wanted too much time with the ball initially. That's what gave Rangers possession. And we saw Russell Latipi score from a similar position against Dunfermline just a few weeks ago.
Niemi wary of what's coming up. Konterman standing over the free kick as well. We know he can pack a punch. Latipi and De Boer also there. Hugh Dallas making sure the wall has got back, but this is going to be a bit of a tester for Hearts. Take your pick from Latipi, De Boer, Konterman. It is Russell Latipi, but it's not quite the same outcome as it was at Dunfermline for him.
Just couldn't get enough topspin on it, Ian, to bring it back down. Gets the ball up quickly. Wall broke as well. Niemi never troubled.
Well, there's Premiership action tomorrow. The pay-per-view game sees Glenn Hoddle's Tottenham take on his former club Southampton. More information 08705 160 160. That's tomorrow from 1:30. And then later on, it's Super Sunday as usual, and the London derby between Charlton and Fulham from 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 1, with interactive coverage available on Sky Sports Extra. Here's Flogel. Kirk coming to meet it. Morris Ross saw that one coming, and Hughes is going to put Kanchelskis away. This could be ominous for Hearts and promising for Rangers, but it's blocked by Webster. Kanchelskis to try again with assistance from Ronald De Boer. Stephen Hughes. It's only come to Russell Latipi, and it was diverted to Flo, who tries to bundle his way towards goal, but the outcome is a goal kick.
Yeah, Latipi thought about the shot. First of all, it was well charged down. And Flo just couldn't dig it out of his feet there.
Free kick given against Tourne Flo in the end. Flo still really trying to prove his worth to the Rangers fans. Seem to say that about an awful lot of Rangers players. Stephen Hughes. to Morris Ross. Those two perhaps part of a big future for Rangers. But being called upon in the present as well. McKenna. Simmons. Kirk. Hwang-jo. Now Tony Goodmark. That's a bit loose. Stephen Mahi says cheers. And then he promptly gives it straight to Rickson. Latapi's got Arthur Newman rushing down the left-hand side. Offside. Offside against Flo.
Newman was in a great position there. He said he could try and play Flo, and again it's very tight, but the assistant got it correct, I think.
Hwang-jo. Flogel might fancy getting it back. Hwang-jo, the nippy little Spaniard, losing out to Stephen Hughes. He's about twice the size of him. Simmons. Severin. Foul by Latapi. Hearts, remember, if they manage to beat Rangers for the first time in over 3 years, will go second in the table, a position they haven't held since the early part of the 98-99 season. That one's going to drift away for a goal kick. Hearts' last win over Rangers was on the first weekend of the new look Scottish Premier League. Craig Levein wasn't here then. Jim Jeffries' Jambos beat Rangers 2-1. But Craig has done a pretty decent job here, just as Jim did, with limited resources. Colin Cameron, the latest big name to go. Still rumours that Antti Niemi might be departing as well, but Hearts just keep on going. They tend to survive and just get on with it. Flo. Hughes. Newman. Latapi. De Boer. Oh dear, it's cut out by Simmons. Hearts just 2 points behind Rangers. Hoping to jump above them. Rangers, though, having heard that Celtic saw off Dunfermline earlier today, will want to close the gap to 2 points again.
I think that's a problem psychologically. Rangers know they can't slip up here today, even this early in the season. I don't think they can give Celtic a lead.
The first Old Firm encounter comes at the end of this month on Sunday the 30th. And Rangers will want to be within a reasonable distance of Celtic by then. I'd quite like to be above them, but until they get some of their injured players back, that might be dreaming a little bit too much. Stephen Mahi, an old foe of Rangers, will take this throw. That's come off Mahi, despite his efforts to try and gain the throw. He was smiling at Hugh Dallas, and that doesn't happen very often. Stephen Pressley. Oh, Kirk. I don't think he's going to get to it first. Kanchelskis will. Morris Ross is down injured. I think they'll kick the ball out so that he can get some treatment.
Yeah, he's clearly caught there by Andy Kirk's elbow. It's unintentional. That's why Hugh Dallas let it go. He didn't go down for nothing. Well, I can see how much Hearts have had of this game. And they've been quite happy to go toe-to-toe with Rangers. I wouldn't bet against them winning this.
Maurice Ross is up on his feet, and we're almost ready to resume in the last minute of the first half. Hearts and Rangers locked together at 1-1. Hearts will sportingly give the ball back to Rangers. Maurice Ross okay after taking a whack from Andy Kirk. And his treatment there might just have accounted for the 1 minute of added on time in this first half. Flo's header a little wayward. Here's Flugel. Simmons, who is making a name for himself. Now Guangzhou, as Hearts look to bear down on the Rangers' goal. Simmons again. A little stray that time. Flo. Tony Vidmar, who could well be on his way at the end of the season when his contract's up. It's half-time at Tynecastle. McKenna gave Hearts a flying start, but Russell Latterby came to the rescue for Rangers. McKenna drilling home in his emergency strike role, having gone up front from the back in the last few games. But it would be Latterby, wouldn't it? It had to be him, really. And it's 1-1 at half-time. We'll hear what Charlie Nicholas thinks about it all shortly with Jim. Plenty more to come, though, from these two. Half-time, Hearts 1, Rangers 1.
Well, more football action coming up for you later tonight. At 9 o'clock from the Spanish La Liga, Real Madrid take on Malaga. And then at 11 from the German Bundesliga is Borussia Dortmund against Bayern Munich. Well, this Saturday night we're at Tynecastle. It's our live match from the SPL. It's Hearts Rangers, and at the break it's 1 goal apiece. 1-1 as things stand. No bookings in that first half. Moments of rough and tumble, all right, but at the moment, no bookings. But the story of that really is that Hearts have given plenty in that first half. They'll be a bit disappointed they're not ahead. David Province said in his co-commentary they've gone toe-to-toe with Rangers. And it's 1-1 at the break. Charlie Nicholas, it's impressive by Hearts, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been. I said before the game started, Jim, tonight, that Hearts have to be aggressive. They are a club who, when they start that way, they tend to get into a good pattern of play. And they don't always come away with 3 points when they play the big two in Glasgow. But at the same time, when they're here, they have to have a go. And it showed that tonight. I think they've been aggressive from the start. I think it's a merited performance from both. I have to say, there's not been any great technical gifts. Ronald de Boer on a couple of occasions has had a couple of lovely turns. But it's really blood and thunder. I think it's an awful decision from Arthur Newman to knock it back into that area.
Yeah.
You know, he should really let the header go and maybe just draw out it. You see McKenna gets his rewards. You know, he should just let the Hearts player go, and he's facing the wrong direction. Quantum, to his credit, does well. But McKenna, he gets a little break, and Davey said, you know, we would have to wonder why he's on in the substitute bench. You've got Adam and McSwiggan.
Yeah.
This big centre-half comes up and pops up with a goal. Tremendous start for the game, and a tremendous start for Hearts. Again, you know, a little bit of luck when Kevin McKenna's way for the goal. The same happened to Rangers. Rickson has the initial shot, the deflection comes off, it falls in. Eventually, after the build-up play, it's great technique yet again from Latterby. But again, it is a little break to the ball. Low weights in the support. Arrives from Hughes. Look at Flogo. He's actually teased into that. And Newman does well. He's crossed it back into a decent area. And Latibe's technique does enough. You can just see coming out of the screen now, I think it's Stevie Fulton. He just struggles to come and get back defensively. It's not always been his asset. I have to say, I think Rangers at times have built up too slowly for me. You mentioned individual talent and techniques. Well, De Boer has had a couple of great turns. Other than that, it's really been about effort, energy and aggression. Hearts, I have to say, looking at your stats there, saying that, you know, possession-wise, Hearts' best area has really been in the last 30 yards. The Spanish kid, Wanjo, turns in lovely. We know he favours his right side. He's been shouting from the rooftops he wants a new contract, he wants to stay at Hearts. Maybe that'll help convince the people at Hearts. But I think I merited 1-1 half-time result.
So 1-1, Charlie, as things stand right now. Could you pick me a winner?
No, I couldn't at the moment. I think Rangers have a little bit more in terms of going forward. Only in the individual aspects of Ronald De Boer. But other than that, I think Hearts look a better side. I think they look better balanced. I think the kid Simmons looks as if he's been playing for years. He really looks fine for Hearts. I have been a little bit surprised that Stephen Mahe hasn't got down that left a little bit more. He did that very successfully at Celtic. I'm expecting a bit more of that in the second half. But a very even first 45, Jim.
Even enough, 1-1 it is here at Tynecastle at the break. The second half should have plenty, I'm quite sure. These supporters want a win tonight. They stand a chance of getting it. It's 1-1, the second half coming up after this break. Well, they're up the famous Arthur Seat this Saturday night here in the capital city in Edinburgh. But they have to have really good eyesight to take in Hearts Rangers from there. It's a long way away. That's Tynecastle, and that's where we are. Hearts Rangers from the SPL. It's 1-1 as things stand. Now, another 3 live matches coming up for you tomorrow. At 1:30, the pay-per-view match is Tottenham against Southampton. For ordering details, the number to call is 08705 160 160. At 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 1, interactive on Sky Sports Extra, Charlton take on Fulham. And that's followed by more live action from the Spanish La Liga as Barcelona take on Rayo Vallecano. But it's Hearts Rangers, it's 1-1. This game is there to be won. Who wants it most? Let's rejoin David Provan and Ian Crocker.
Thank you, Jim. Hearts with a 100% home record. Rangers with a 100% away record in the Scottish Premier League. So something has got to give. And the two teams at the moment locked together at 1-1. Hearts ready to start the second half. Their first home game since Colin Cameron, the captain, departed to Wolves. They're also without Robert Tomaszek, the Slovakian, who has knee ligament damage. Rangers, though, with that amazing, lengthy injury list with Craig Moore, Scott Wilson, Michael Moles, Lorenzo Amoruso, Claudio Reyna, Christian Nerlinger, Barry Ferguson, Michael Ball, and Shota Arveladze, all cropped, and Neil McCann suspended as well. So they're really not doing too badly, considering the number of men who are out. Ronald De Boer has drifted into an offside position.
Yeah, Charlie made the point at half-time, that Rangers at times are taking too long in the build-up, and when they did play early from back to front, particularly into the left-back position, De Boer was getting in behind Flogo, and they could try that ball again. De Boer's playing right side at the moment, but he looked far more dangerous when he was playing against Thomas Flogo on the left.
Well, just before the game, Dick Advocaat was not only bemoaning his injury list to us, but we'll come back to that because Simmons is trying to get in here. Tucked away by Newman. Wanjo. Simmons, the 19-year-old who's made quite an impact already this season. Wanjo's cross, and Severin was on the end of it.
Well, he found a good bit of room between Tony Vidmar and Maurice Ross. I think if anything is up a fraction early here. Just goes in, not picked up at all. And that has to go down as a reasonable opportunity.
Dick Advocaat not only distressed about his injuries, but also he doesn't know yet whether Rangers will have to travel to Dagestan in Europe this week. Latipe sends it through to De Boer, and now Kanchelskis to Flo. Oh, it's wide. What a chance.
Well, Stephen Presley did well. The Rangers supporters won't be happy, But Stephen Presley, having appealed for offside, managed to get himself round the back to make the crucial challenge. Just did enough to put Flo under pressure. Certainly Hearts felt they had a good case for offside as it was played wide.
Brighton breezy start to the second half. And Fulton will get the corner. Wanjo floats it in, and it's cleared by Konteman. Kanchelskis, possibility of a break perhaps for Rangers. Fernando Rickson available, and now Latapi. Russell Latapi bearing down on the Hearts goal, but a rather miserable effort in the end.
Well, they beat Stephen Fulton so early to make the space, and they had a bit of time here. Once he steps away from Fulton, and we're right behind this, I was expecting him to try and bend it into the far corner. I never really got a hold of it.
And so Latapi has weighed in with some vital goals for Rangers on the road this season. And Latapi releasing Tore-Andre Flo. Only De Boer in the middle at the moment, but others are arriving. Flo might go for it himself. Ooh, and the Emmy had to just nick it behind.
I don't think he could take a chance. I think it was going to finish wide. But Tore-Andre Flo, who's looked out of touch tonight, and for the first time we see a good example of good feet here. Buys himself a bit of space. I think it's drifting wide, but Lankiniemi wasn't taking any chances. A better look here. I think that's finishing just wide.
It's Russell Latapi's corner. Aimed towards Ross, but he was rather crowded out. Vidmar still putting himself about. Hughes always going wide. Stephen Hughes scored with a deflected drive against Hibs.
Yeah, I reckon he might have had a corner here. It's Stevie Fulton who's closing him down. I think he might have had a case as well. And he's had another good night. 18 years of age. And like young Simmons in the Hearts side, looks very accomplished.
Who said there were no kids coming through in Scotland?
I think his name's Brown.
Here's Kirk. Konteman doing enough though to foil the Northern Ireland international. The enticing prospect for Rangers fans is that at one stage or another in the next fortnight, Moles, Amoruso, Rayner, Merling, Ferguson, Ball and Arveladze should all be available for selection to considerably boost this team. Flow goal has De Boer nearby, but he dealt with it admirably. Flugel. On by Wanjo, but it's covered by Konteman. One of Rangers' new signings, Shota Arveladze, was injured playing for Georgia last week, so he's also in the stands. Nicknamed Mr. Bean, because he looks a bit like the aforementioned character. Big week for Dick Advocaat with UEFA Cup tie coming up. I suppose they're always big weeks for Abdelkar at the moment, really. But Celtic's win earlier today means that Rangers cannot really afford to lose ground.
Yeah, I think you're dead right. I think Dick Advocaat probably knows that as well. I think he'll let this go so long before we'll either see Billy Dawes or Claudio Caniggia. And those Rangers really have to leave Edinburgh with all 3 points.
And there they are, waiting on the bench. Caniggia just back in business after 1 or 2 injury problems himself. Kirk was closed down. Here's Stephen Hughes. Kanchelskis. Now Ronald de Boer, and Flo waiting for the cross. But it didn't really happen for Rangers, and Richard has tripped Simmons. Flogel, Wanjo, Flogel, oh, he's going to pick out McKenna. Maurice Ross gives him the shoulder. McKenna looking for support. Mahi has arrived on the scene, so has Stevie Fulton. Comfortable though for Stefan Klos, whose arrival at Rangers spelt the end, really, at Ibrox for the man at the other end. Anthony Niemi, nudged by Flogel on Flo, and the free kick has been given.
That's the ball that's given Hearts problems tonight, the ball in behind Thomas Flogel. Earlier in the game it was Ronald de Boer, and on that occasion it was Flo who was almost away.
Well, that's a big try, the last free kick. Ronald de Boer looks like he might be shaping up for it. Stephen Pressley's come and move the ball. And Hugh Dallas has put it back where it was. Hugh Dallas sent off Stephen Pressley here last season. You don't go and move the ball when Hugh's around. Will Ronald de Boer try and place it, or will Konteman try and blast it? Ronald de Boer always looked most likely, but nothing doing.
Nah, he's not pleased with it, and neither should he be. Moves well wide of the target.
They were just making sure the ball was on the line. Fulton's header. Away by Vidmar, on by Ross. Fulton sends it back. Konteman appealing for a flag, which was never going to be forthcoming. Maurice Ross has fended off McKenna. Goal kick. Rangers have won their last 9 meetings with Hearts, but they're not having it all their own way today. Whoops. Vidmar scuffing that, much to the delight of the nearby Hearts supporters. Flogel. Vidmar intervened. Flogel can try again. Severin. Kirk. Fulton. Whoops, just too high for Severin, and they couldn't keep it in.
still having marginally more of the ball, but chances few and far between so far in the second half. It's still one that's very difficult to call.
Alderman's header. Vidmar completes the clearance. Nice touch from Flo to Latapi. They've got Kanchelskis free, and they're going to use him. Rickson on the overlap. Kanchelskis through to Latapi. What a chance for Tor-Andre Flo! And he's taken it. And Rangers have turned it round. It hasn't been one of his better days. Like he cares now.
Well, he didn't win a matter, Dean. The touch from Latapi here is tremendous. Takes all the pace of the ball out of it here. Knew he had to play it early, so Tor-Andre Flo would be onside. And played them in superbly. Still a lot for Flo to do. Gets a deflection, I think, off Stephen Pressley. And just creeps in at the post. Slight deflection there from Stephen Pressley. But a well-worked goal. And a wonderful layoff there by Russell Latapi.
His 19th goal for the Rangers in 30 games. Not a bad return, that, even though he has struggled to settle in Scotland. Flogel and Vidmar on collision course. Fulton delivers. Wanjo might latch onto it, and he sets it up. Ooh, almost for Flogel on the volley, but Hughes just got to it. Wanjo. Handball shout against Tony Vidmar. And it's given as well. Or is it just a corner? Nope, it is a free kick. Hearts looking to respond as Fulton sends it over the far post, but Kloss was commanding. And Kanchelskis. Come up the hour. Rangers, who fell behind early on, lead 2-1. Dick Advocaat won 5 out of a possible 6 trophies in his first 2 seasons in charge. Mort out of 3 last season, though. Arthur Newman. Newman shrugs off Flogel. There's plenty waiting for the cross, including Flo charging in. And Webster just beat him to it.
Yeah, he had a few chances to play Ronald De Boer and Arthur Newman, then decided he was going to the byline. Hangs up a nice cross at the back post. And Webster under pressure there with Flo coming in behind, did the right thing, getting it behind.
Rangers only their 3rd corner of the game. In front of the Rangers fans, Russell Latapi's corner is cleared by McKenna, but Hughes gets it back to Latapi, or tries to. Fulton chased it all the way. Hero with the Hearts fans, trying to inspire his colleagues. A test of character for them, this. Fernando Rickson proving very popular with the fans just behind him there, as you can see. Rickson's long 'un. McKenna. Vidmar finding Flo. And Flo tripped by Flogel.
Yeah, just wrong-footed completely here. Another example of the better side of Tor-Andre Flo. For such a big fella, he really does have quick feet at times. And the first yellow of the game there for Thomas Flogel.
Flogel booked, and Russell Latterby trying to inflict further misery on him and Hearts. Latterby goes for the fast stick, and Rangers will get a corner out of it off Mahi. De Boer delivers, Newman on the volley. Worth a go. Rickson and De Boer. It's away by the former Rangers man Stephen Pressley. Awkward this for Maurice Ross to contend with, but he's contended with most things in his spell in the first team this season. A chance here though for Simmons, but quickly across was Stephen Hughes.
Did so well to get away there, 2 against 1, and just a little drop of the shoulder, he was away to the byline.
Looking for an equaliser. Hwangjo delivers. Kloss again gets his glove to it. And Chelskis. Flogel covering. Fulton. Whoops, a bit casual. Stevie Fulton that time. Celtic. He was stretching a bit then. It seemed to gather pace. Maurice Ross conceding the throw. It's the Rangers fans who are in full voice at Tynecastle at the moment, but Hearts far from giving this one up yet. Oh, it's come back, nearly came back to McKenna.
Yeah, Rangers claiming for an offside. This will tell the story as it comes in.
To Kirk. Fulton. Now by Rickson on Fulton, who was none too impressed.
Yeah, I think it's Stevie Fulton's reaction that Hugh Dallas was unhappy with. Yeah, there's not a lot in that, is it?
Flogel. Will leave the throw for the Austrian. Hwangjo. And again. Stephen Simmons tried to get in, but Arthur Newman was there. Encouragement for Hearts though, as they go for goal. Flogel. Hwangjo. A man on Fulton. It was a little bit hurried, but still pretty decent. Fulton to Hwangjo. Arthur Newman not letting him pass. Oh, and Newman and Hwangjo got a little bit involved in afters there as the play continued.
I think Hugh Dallas got the decision right, despite the reaction of the Hearts fans down in the corner there, Ian.
Midway through the second half. Hearts have got a man down, and that's why De Boer has just flicked it out.
Yeah, well done, Ronald De Boer there. Thomas Flogel, who's taken a solo.
Severin. Fulton trying to help it on to Mahi. Chelskis was there, a Rangers. Mahi chasing. Kanchelskis with a bit of a juggling act. But it looked good to start with. Andy Kirk. Maurice Ross stuck close to him, and now Ronald De Boer. De Boer seeking out Flo, but Thomas Flogel is there. Wanjo out of contract next month and would like to stay, but not too impressed with the offer that Hearts have made to him.
Had a long look at it, Hugh Dallas, took his time to give it.
Just over 20 minutes remaining at Tynecastle. McKenna calling for it. Fulton sends it across to Webster initially. Thomas Flogel, not to forget. Hearts are going to make a change, and a former Rangers striker is coming on. Gary McSwiggan is going to replace Andy Kirk, a straight swap up front.
A similar type of players, you would say, like for like. And much in the same way that Andy Kirk was prepared to go on behind, move defenders, this fellow will do the same thing.
McSwiggan, a wanted man at the moment, wanted by Motherwell. Vidmar's underneath that. Flo's flick. Flo charging in with Severin and Rickson colliding with Fulton. Meantime, Ronald De Boer will try and find a route to goal for Rangers. Here's Arthur Newman trying to nick it through to Flo, but it didn't really happen, and now McKenna can find Flogel. The wrong side though of McSwiggan, who started his career with Rangers, offside against De Boer.
Well, is De Boer off? Because Flo is probably in a passive position as the ball's played forward. He doesn't reckon he was off. Yeah, he's half a yard off. I think it's a good call there.
Wanjo. McSwiggan on for Hearts, but he Dodds could be on soon for Rangers. McSwiggan, Simmons, Severin sends it in, and Vidmar sends it out. Here's Flo. De Boer Fulton gave it to Stephen Hughes. However, could open up here because Severin has won it back. Dillard. Latapy. Rickson. Now Kanchelskis with a chance to go on one of his runs. Delivered towards Flo, but away by Flogel. Here's Russell Latapy, and he could have a go.
No, just didn't get a hold of it, but previous to that, good width down the right-hand side from Kanchelskis. Eventually sat up. Always difficult to take in the half volley. And having made such a good job of the strike for the first goal, never really got that one.
I want to change of mind on the Rangers bench. Billy Dalton's warming up, but instead they're going to bring on Peter Lovenkrantz, and Ronald de Boer is the man who makes way. Lovenkrantz has had his Rangers career upset by injuries, but then who hasn't? Danish under-21 international, whose brother Tommy is at St Johnstone. He could be a little lively though. Webster. Morris Ross reacting, but Gary McSwiggan chasing him and stepping in. It's a hard throw. And that means Stefan Mahe is required. Played against Rangers 11 times for Celtic, only 2 wins, 2 red cards as well. Some decent defending from Ross again, and he's got the free kick out of Gary McSwiggan. Premiership action tomorrow, the pay-per-view game. Glenn Hoddle's Tottenham against his former club Southampton from 1:30. More information on 08705 160 160. And Super Sunday later is a London derby from the Valley. Charlton against Fulham from 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 1, interactive on Sky Sports Extra. Quarter of an hour to go at Tynecastle. Rangers have come from behind to lead 2-1, but Hearts may still have a bit left in them.
Yeah, I think Dick Advocat wants to try and see this one out now. He's Lovenkrantz is really playing left side midfield. Tore Flo up on his own. Having the better of the action, but no consolation for Craig Levein, I'm sure.
Andy Webster. Severin was sold a little short, but just beat Rickson to it. Latapy, though, now presents it to Fernando Rickson and promptly gets it back. I wonder if that's a free kick. Morris Ross, the offender. Fulton's free kick. Oh, Newman completely miskicked it. And Hearts claimed handball there, but nothing doing. Kloss was caught in 2 minds initially, but still got to it in the end. Flo. Fouled by Webster. Stephen Hughes. Here's Lovenkrantz. Arthur Newman. Lovenkrantz with a chance to deliver. It's a high one for Kanchelskis and away by Mahe, but Kanchelskis still on the scene, and so too is Fernando Rickson. Latapy, Flo nearly found a way through. No chance. kick, which caught Rangers out a little bit. Vidmar. Arthur Newman. Rickson. Rickson picking out Kanchelskis. A sense of anticipation when he's on the ball. Latterby wrestling control back for Rangers from Severin. Here's Rickson. Newman. Flo fouling Presley.
I reckon he might have had a penalty just a couple of minutes ago. A great turn here. Latterby looking for the return. Flo decides he can make Stephen Presley. Lovely little bit of footwork there. Well, I don't think there's any reason to go down here. Seen him given for that.
Here's Morris Ross. Hearts are going to bring on Stefan Adam for the closing stages shortly. He's been out for a few weeks with hamstring trouble. And Mahi and Advocaat together. He's trying to make a tackle then, Dick, I think.
Well, you called that one earlier, Ian. Rickson and Mahi.
You wouldn't want to get in the middle of those two. Scott Severin's gone off. And coming on, Stefan Adam, who scored a decisive goal in the 1998 Scottish Cup final against Rangers, and also scored in the league against them the last time Hearts beat them over 3 years ago. Can he come up with the magic again and save the day for the Jambos? Free kick is going to go this time in Flo's favour.
He's a different player since he scored, Tory Andrew Flo. Hasn't done anything wrong since he scored. And he's going to have to do a lot of this backing in, holding the ball up, because he's up there on his own now.
They took the free kick very quickly, but the flag immediately went up, so Rangers have wasted it somewhat. Inside the last 10 minutes. A nudge by Morris Ross on McKenna. Fulton to McSwiggan and Simmons. Oh, what a strike! Stephen Simmons, one of Scotland's rising stars, with an excellent equaliser for Hearts.
Not dissimilar to Russell Latterby's strike, but from further out, and if anyone deserves it, it's this young man. Half volley, good technique, never easy to hit on the bounce. What a good job he made of it.
In off the same post. And that was the reaction from Craig Levein, who after his bout of food poisoning is suddenly feeling a whole lot better. It's 2-2. First goal of Stephen Simmons' career. And he really is making a name for himself. But Rangers have got a free kick here right on the edge of the area. And I think Hugh Dallas is going to bring a card out as well. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think there is a card there. Stefan Mahi is going to be the end of it, I think.
Well, could have got pretty good odds on Stefan Mahi getting a yellow card off Hugh Dallas, I think. Mahi joins Flogel in the book, and Rangers have been pegged back to 2-2, but hang on, because Russell Latterby delivers. And it's going to come to Vidmar. Well blocked by Flogel, I think it was. Whoops. little too close for comfort there. Rickson getting an earful from those supporters, but I don't think he'll be too bothered as we prepare to take this long throw. Towards Flo, flicked it on. Away by Webster, but only to Maurice Ross. Stefan Adam muscled in, and now Hearts fancy winning it. Franjo, fouled by Stephen Hughes.
Oh, another yellow. I don't think Stephen Hughes will be too bothered about the yellow because Wanjo was in a good position to break forward here. Does give Rangers a chance to get bodies goal side.
It promises to be a fantastic finale. And we could get a winner yet. Maybe from Flogel. Just over.
Probably been happy on his right side, Thomas Flogel. Never really get a hold of that one at all.
Billy Dodds is going to come on to replace Russell Latterby for the closing stages. When you need a goal, Dodds is normally your man, although he hasn't really done it for Rangers lately. None in his last 16 appearances, only 2 in his last 31. But Dick Advocaat is hoping that Dodds can nick it for him at Tynecastle, because Rangers need a win to keep up with Celtic. Hearts, though, if they nick it here, will go second in the table above Rangers, and they haven't been that high for over 3 years. Simmons was unaware of the presence of Rickson. Who's going to grab the points, if anyone? Lovenkrantz. He's got a bit of pace about him, as he's proving. But McSquiggan, of all people, got back for Hearts. All hands to the pump, all feet to the pump now. Arthur Newman. His throw was met by Flogel, but Tony Vidmar quickly in. Hughes. Hughes launching one, turned away by Andy Webster, and here's Stefan Mahi. Minutes to go at Tynecastle. These two usually serve up an enthralling encounter, no different today. Newman. Billy Dodds. Now Tony Vidmar. Rangers hoping for a decent delivery. It's not bad, and Lovenkrantz flicked it on, and Billy Dodds desperately trying to get there at full stretch.
That was a good ball in by Tony Vidmar. Lovenkrantz adjusts the angle very slightly, but it doesn't do Billy Dodds any favours eventually at the back post. Good ball in by Tony Vidmar. And Rangers throwing so many bodies forward now. Dick Advocaat really knows he has to win this one.
Lovenkrantz just beat Flogel to it. Away by Webster, but only to Kanchelskis. Now Arthur Newman with a bit of space. In towards Lovenkrantz. Beaten away by Niemi. A frantic end to a cracking contest. And Maurice Ross needed to win that and did. And now Billy Dodds is in, but it's blocked by Webster. Mahi trying to fend off Dodds, but he's merely given it straight to Kanchelskis. Pressley needed to make contact because Flo was waiting. Now Stefan Adam's going to put himself about Konterman here, but the Dutchman dealt with it. Vidmar. 2-2 at the moment, a result that will delight Celtic as much as it delights Hearts, but it's a game that is there for the winning. The question is, which team is going to do it? Hearts with a chance to go second in the table. Rangers will find themselves 4 points off Celtic if they draw here. Tony Vidmar. Newman. Lovenkrantz. Arthur Newman. Rangers going for it. Oh, Billy Dodds just off target.
Well, chances don't come much better, and if you want anyone in the end of a cross like this, it's Billy Dodds. Drifts away, finds a lovely little bit of room there, right in front of goal. Couldn't have asked for a better delivery from Arthur Newman. Just can't get up high enough.
Well, it's been an encouraging performance from Hearts, suggesting that they will have a good season. But Rangers really can't afford to slip up, and when you're one of the Glasgow Giants, a draw is a slip up. Quanjo. It's come to Rickson. Flo will chase, but Hearts should be able to deal with this. Webster is there. Your man of the match tonight, David?
No, young Stephen Simmons, I think, has been fabulous. Not just there for the goal, but the impact he's had in the match. Put in a couple of hefty challenges early in the game, but since he calmed down, he really has been outstanding. And not surprisingly, he's my Bank of Scotland man of the match.
Anything Lazenby can do, he can do better in off the post to make it 2-2. Flo's flick. Newman. There will be 2 minutes of added on time. Vidmar getting away from Flogel. Now, can he deliver? No. Well taken by Niemi. Just a couple of minutes left on what has been an eventful Edinburgh evening. Well, everybody seemed to leave that. McKenna goes in with Conterman. Newman wearing the captain's armband in the absence of Barry Ferguson, who I'm sure is watching tonight. And we'll be back soon, hopefully from a Rangers point of view. Here's Kanchelskis. And Lovenkrantz trying to get in. Flogel just turned it away though, and McSwiggan calmly gives it back to him. Seconds tick away. It's a throw, it's trickled over the line. And they're taking a free kick, but I think it's just a throw, and well, you can tell from the expression that this is not good enough really for Rangers.
Yeah, I think he'll look upon this as 2 points drop, but you have to consider the contribution the Hearts have made to this game. And I don't think either side really deserves to lose it.
Much was made of Colin Cameron's departure from Hearts, and he was a major influence for them, but they've coped admirably without him in 2 games, winning at Dunfermline and giving Rangers a run for their money here. Settling for the throw off Flogel. Not long to go now. Can Rangers nick it? Arthur Newman. And it's come off Lovenkrantz. It'll be a goal kick, and Hearts will settle for that because there must be a matter of seconds remaining. In fact, there are no seconds remaining. It's all over. A spirited showing from Craig Levine's Hearts. Dick Advocaat's Rangers slipping up on the day that Celtic duly dispatched Dunfermline. Stephen Simmons, the man of the match, just 19 years of age. The first goal came from Kevin McKenna, but Rangers responded, equalised through Latifi. Tor-Andre Flo put them ahead, but Dick Advocaat's Rangers really needed to keep up with Celtic as much as possible. They failed to do so today. McKenna's early effort was cancelled out by Russell Latifi. Remember that post, because it's going to pop up again in a bit. Latifi setting up Tor-Andre Flo for a fine finish to put Rangers in front, but you got the feeling Hearts had something left in them. They did, and this was it. In off the post again from this talented teenager Stephen Simmons, but for Dick Advocaat, a draw not really good enough. It finishes at Tynecastle, Hearts 2, Rangers 2.
Stephen Simmons will see his name in the sports headlines tomorrow. 2-2 here at Tynecastle. Now still to come tonight, following us here on Sky Sports 1, it's the NFL new season preview. On Sky Sports 2 now, there's live US Open tennis from the men's semi-finals. On Sky Sports 3 now, there's live Super League and live US Tour golf from the Bell Canadian Open at 9. And on Sky Sports Extra now, there's live Speedway from the Polish Grand Prix, Spanish football, Real Madrid against Malaga, that's at 9. And German football, Borussia Dortmund against Bayern Munich, that's at 11. Now at Tynecastle tonight, a battle all the way to the end tonight. 2-2, Hearts 2, Rangers 2. Neither side did deserve to lose this one, and neither did. Reaction coming up. Well, our live match from the SPL this Saturday night, Hearts Rangers, the usual blood, the usual thunder, but nobody won it. 2-2 in the end here at Tynecastle. With 3 bookings tonight, Flogel and Mahe of Hearts and Young Hughes of Rangers, they were all booked tonight. And as David Provan said in co-commentary, Hearts really did stand toe-to-toe in that first half with Rangers. And it was more of the same in the second half. Rangers might have nicked it at the death. They couldn't do it. 2-2 in the end. Man of the match, young Stephen Simmons. What a player he's shaping up to be. He's with David Tanner.
Stephen, congratulations on your performance tonight. Was that the game of your life?
Couldn't hope for anything else. To score the equaliser in the last 10 minutes, I think it was fantastic. Just delighted to get a goal.
You don't get many goals, do you? Can we expect more of the same from you?
Well, Swiggy just laid it off. He done the same with Seve the other week, yeah, and he just laid it off. It just sat nice. Decided to hit it, gave it a go, and something half a post, I think it was, half a post. Just delighted. Over the moon.
Do you feel as though the draw was fair to both sides tonight?
The draw was fair to both sides. The two were attacking each other well. It was up and down all the time. So it's just, I thought the draw was even. I thought it was the best.
You were involved in some fairly meaty challenges early on. Did you feel it was important to let the Rangers midfield and Fernando Rickson know you were there?
That's it. Gaffer said at the start of the game, get stuck in. Says don't be overawed with who you're playing against. Just get the fit in. I just took that on board and went through it.
Could you say why you might be living in dreamland this season?
I couldn't imagine. My first game was at Parkhead, and that was unbelievable. But to come out here against Rangers and get the draw, that's fantastic.
People have been wondering if Hearts would start missing Colin Cameron. Have you seen signs of that yet?
Well, the gaffer says after wee Mickey went away, he says all the best to the wee man, but we're not a one-man team, and as we showed last week and we showed this week as well, we're not a one-man team, and we've got Scott Seven and that to come in and fill Mickey's role, so just keep it going, hopefully.
Well, you certainly did it tonight. Congratulations, Stephen. You're the Bank of Scotland SPL Man of the Match. Well done.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
There you go, Stephen Simmons. He doesn't look old enough to drink it, does he, Charlie? 19 he is, 19 years of age. What a goal he scored. We'll see in a minute. Great night for him and a good night for Hearts. And that says a lot, I think, tonight, Charlie, about Hearts' commitment this season.
Hearts, we know, it's well documented about the financial restrictions that they have now. And Craig Levein, a relatively young guy taking over as coach here, you know, there's in a way there's less pressure on him because he will be given time. But it's difficult when he's got to build a squad. Now, this squad is never going to be big enough or strong enough to ever challenge the top two. But at home, if they start well, I think Hearts is mainly about a style of play rather than the individuals who play. And I think what we've seen tonight was before kick-off, I says to you, when Hearts start a campaign and when they start games, especially at home, and they become aggressive and enthusiastic, then they'll get the rewards in the end. And some of the young kids, now under Jim Jeffries, this club was telling everybody that they had 5 or 6 young kids coming through. Now that is more than most, and I think now we're starting to see 1 or 2 starting to come through again, so positive sign for Hearts. We know they have financial problems, but things are looking quite good for them.
But you're right, Charlie, when we look back at it, the important time for Hearts was at the beginning, wasn't it? The beginning of this match, when they had to assert themselves.
Yeah, you have to go and approach a match when you're playing a big two, and you have to look at a fair assumption for Dick Advocaat. It has to be a certain excuse, because basically there's 7 or 8 players who would not start if his full team was there. It's a bad decision from Newman, as I said at half-time, and the reason being is that he headed it back into the danger area. You can see here, the Hearts forward is actually, I think it might actually be Simmons who's challenged. Actually, it's McKenna who gets his reward in the end. He goes, he's not going to win it, he's going to head it away from goal.
Yeah.
Konteman does well. I mean, fair credit to Andy Kirk. He went and pressed him. There's nothing anybody can do. He's doing a little bit of luck and he takes it. He finished it like a true striker, I have to say. Again, you've got to chance your arm, you've got to take those opportunities. Rixon tried it, the deflection came to Flo. It's a lovely touch from Newman just to skip by Flogo. They won't be happy when they see the defending here, Hearts, in the midfield area. Stevie Fulton just switched off that second. And people at Latipi, you know, when they're given this space, you see Rixon coming back out. Watch Latipi, he just drifts off. I think it's Mahe. David did mention in co-commentary that the important thing for defenders when you're playing big-time players is that you have to get your full-backs tucked in. Mahe was with him and then let him go. Stevie Fulton ended up in no man's land. Because of that technical, Gibbs can finish that off. There was very few. I did enjoy this 90 minutes tonight, Jim, I have to say, because Hearts give you everything they have. Rangers have qualities, but the only player I think that showed any individual flair and creativity was Ronald de Boer. Now, he doesn't have the pace that others are blessed with. Wanjo have one instance in the game that he came in and threatened. On this occasion, it was a lovely attempt, I have to say. Go on, pull the trigger, because you just never know. Klaus, he's a quality goalkeeper, we know that, and yet he's testing him. He's stretching him all the way. That's decision. Started the second half looked pretty impressive for Rangers. They were more upbeat. The tempo was better for them. They looked as if they were going to be more creative. Sometimes, again, I mean, I think they were fortunate because I think Tore Andrew Close actually was in an offside position before he received it. But they got away with it. Sometimes you've got to take your luck and make it count. He did liven up a little bit in the second half. You see, I think the right side for Rangers tonight actually passed it quite well in the good areas. It's an absolutely tremendous first touch from Latipi. He's so aware. Last season you kept hearing me saying when he was at Hibs, he's too deep, he's too deep. These are the areas that he can make things happen. That's why Dick Advocaat gives him a free roll, because he can make touches like this count. And when you've got Tore Andrew Flo, the deflection actually comes off Presley, and it's fortunate because it goes in the corner. You're saying Charlie
Latipi should hurt sides more, hurt the opponent more.
He must, Jim, because you have to say that throughout this game, he scores a goal in a good area, he makes a goal in a good area. There he's link up. I have to say, I think this is a penalty. I really do. And the reason I would say it is a penalty, now watch any feet now, he is aware Tore Andrew Flo, aware David Presley in particular is. The back heel is a clever bit of skill, and I think Presley grabbed him back. The defenders get away with it, and again, as I say, when it comes your way, you have to make it tell. But to tell in this type of contribution, I mean, this is tremendous finishing. It was clever, quick thinking from Fulton into McSwegan. It does bounce up. It's not easy to control. You're trying to be accurate rather than powerful. Craig Levein is now giving some youngsters an opportunity because he's forced. But this kid looks a special player. Really
he was a member of the Celtic Boys Club at one stage, we understand.
Well, they breed a few good players, don't they? Many have played with in the past.
I forgot that. You were there, of course.
Of course, but Billy Dodds, I have to say, I did feel in the end that Hearts were getting very tired. Rangers were looking stronger. This is a tremendous chance. Billy Dodds, his standards of finishing is normally lethal. He's not been playing that much. He's been struggling for goals. He should have scored that. I think all round a deserved draw. Rangers had better chances, but a deserved 2-2 draw.
2-2, a fair draw in the end, fair result in the end. Well, let's hear now if Craig Levein, the Hearts manager, agrees with that. He's with David Tanner.
Craig, you weren't feeling too great before the game. How are you feeling now?
Well, it certainly beats going to the doctors for a cure. Yeah, very pleased. You know, I think that, especially after going 1-0 up and then 2-1 behind, I think that we showed great character.
You didn't win, but did the game go to your game plan tonight?
No, you never plan to lose 2 goals. No, we're determined to put on a good show for our supporters. Tonight we knew the game was live in Sky, and it was important after stick we've had recently that we showed that we can play football and be an attacking side, which we always are here at home, to be fair. But I think it was an entertaining match.
I guess people will ask you, if you can play like that at home, why can't you play like that at Celtic Park and Ibrox Park?
Well, I think that I have to look at the players we've got available, and also home advantage is a big advantage, you know. And I think that here at Tynecastle that it's far easier to win games than it is away from home, and that's always been the case.
Davy Provan was so impressed with Stephen Simmons' performance. He made him man of the match tonight. What did you make of his performance?
Well, I'm going to agree with Davy. I think that Stephen probably was the best player on the park this evening. I'm delighted for the boy. He's worked ever so hard. And you know, we're a club that likes to give younger players a chance, and not just myself. I mean, Jim Jeffries blooded a lot of players here before me, and because of that we attract a lot of good kids here. And the youth setups run very well under John McGlynn and John Murray, so all credit to them as well.
When kids come through at Hearts, we wonder if they can follow the likes of Johnson, Naismith and go all the way, even head to the Scotland team. Is this boy as good as that?
Well, you have to judge for yourself. I mean, I know him obviously a lot better than you, and I don't want to put any burden on his shoulders. But the lad's got a real chance. I think that he's got a lot of things that the modern day footballer requires.
It's a young team. Are the rest of the kids now beginning to grow up?
We've got some more. We've got 2 or 3 others, a wee bit away yet, but believe me, I mean, I'm not a doom and gloom merchant. I watch a lot of our under-18 games, and I see a lot of good players, not just in our team, but in other teams as well. So I think that the future is a little bit brighter than people have been making out. People
were wondering if you'd lost your mind when you put Kevin McKenna up front a few weeks ago. Did he perhaps show today what you saw in him at training?
Well, Kevin's not a striker, and we're all well aware of that, but we're just that short of players just now that he's had to fill in. And I mean, he's not a striker, he doesn't do the things naturally that a striker does, but you wouldn't have known that with his goal. He certainly took that well, and it was his tenacity that got him it.
He's a defender, so is Stephen Presley, who's had problems with injuries lately. How impressed were you with him tonight playing when he wasn't fully fit?
Well, I have to say that Stephen's the captain, and the reason he's the captain is that's what he does. He was under pressure to play the day. He wasn't fit, but for the team, he said that he would play.
Thanks a lot, Craig. What is it for you now, the sick bed or a celebratory curry?
No, I think I think probably the sick bed. Okay, cheers, dude.
Because a curry would kill him. I'm quite sure of that. Charlie, are there grounds for optimism at Tynecastle for Hearts?
Yes, I think there is. I mean, the financial problem is always going to be there, Jim, until something, you know, settles itself down, because they have to sell. You know, they can look at this boy Simmons, and they can look at others, and I mentioned Naismith, who eventually went to Everton in the Premiership. They have to sell. Most clubs in Scotland now are selling clubs. Other than the big 2, that is stark reality. But the good young players, if they're given opportunities, I've said all along, Scotland does produce good young talent. It's about giving them that expression, that chance to go and express themselves a little bit more, and Hearts are doing that.
Yeah, indeed. 2-2 it was here at Tynecastle tonight. And this was a goal which gave Craig Levine's side a share of the points tonight. What a belter it was. Remember the name, Stephen Simmons. More after this. Well, it's all quiet now here at Tynecastle, but it wasn't earlier. 2-2 it finished tonight. Hearts 2, Rangers 2. Let's hear from Dick Advocat. He's with David Tanner.
Dick, is that a game you feel that Rangers should have won?
Well, by 1-0 down, we came back to 2-1 up. I thought the team was capable to keep the 2-1, but at the end, one shot and it was 2-2.
Stephen Simmons' goal cost you 2 points. Do you feel as though he should have been picked up by the midfield?
Yeah, definitely. He was running behind the player's back, and it was an excellent shot. And yeah, what can you do about that? Again, it started with the player who let him go, and then the opening and the shot.
That's your 3rd draw of the season. Is that purely down to your long list of injuries, or is there something else?
Yeah, well, it's quite simple to say. I think it is not fair to the players who played today to say that is the reason. But you're losing a lot of quality. There's no doubt about that. But the players, these players, they did it before. All the players who are out, they're already out for a long time. So I can't blame this player because they tried too hard, but it is quite simple that you miss some quality.
Can any of the players who missed out today through injury perhaps come back to play against Angie?
The only player who will be back is probably McKenna out of suspension and maybe Nerlinger.
Supporters will now be worrying that Celtic are disappearing over the horizon. What words of encouragement for them can you provide?
Well, it is quite simple. If you see the list with injuries, again no excuse, but it's quite again a fact. But some players are coming back also next week already, like Nerlinger, like Avalatse. Then we have a little bit more possibilities. But what I said, we worked hard, but it was not enough.
UEFA will announce on Monday where you'll be playing Angie. What should they be taking into account and what should they say?
Yeah, I don't want to think about it. Tomorrow we have a meeting about it, and then on Monday the discussion will come.
Dick, thanks for your time.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, David.
Well, it's quite simple. They don't fancy, Charlie, going to that part of the world, do they, next week for the UEFA Cup? Do you feel not should they?
No, I don't think they should. I think the SFA should give them stronger backing than this. Too often in the past we've had people in the SFA working at UEFA, and yet we don't seem to get any further forward. I think sometimes they take advantage of the fact we're a small nation. It doesn't matter if it's a big two or not, but I think the SFA should be throwing more weight behind this, because it's not. I went to Vladikavkaz and that was bad enough. This place, when you can't assure people for going, forget it. It should not be there.
Well, UEFA to make a decision on Monday, a final decision on Monday. Charlie, getting back to this one then, 2-2 here at Tynecastle tonight. We've spoken about Hearts. Dick Advocaat did mention to David there again, and he doesn't like mentioning it, but he has to, the injuries thing,
yeah.
The list of absentees, it grows longer and longer, and it is fact.
You heard the word there, fact. I mean, there's no issue after that, Jim. We spoke before a ball was kicked this season, when build up to this campaign, and we said last year was an excuse, but sometimes there is facts involved, and the facts are that if this team would have been fully fit tonight, we would have seen 9 different players probably, maybe even as much as 10. Now that is fact. I mean, certain excuses must be made. They are a stronger squad than most. Maybe Celtic getting too close to them now. But in saying that, the one thing that would really concern me if I was Dick Advocaat is the fact that when they came back from 1-0 down, showed the character, showed the passing expertise that they should have in areas in midfield, and yet the creative players like Latipi can disappear for times. Flo didn't really get his game going, and yet those two make a telling contribution in scoring a goal. But at 2-1 and Rangers here after coming from that goal behind, you have to say that if they can't go on and win and finish this game, then they have problems, and that is a fact. That is not an excuse, and it doesn't matter who's playing, and Rangers players always are the more demanded for them. But you know, if you look at all the goals, then we will see certain issues, because there's a lot of mistakes, Jim. There's no doubt about that, you know.
Well, of course, they did go one behind, Charlie, tonight, and it was young McKenna who got Hearts in front. And it's so good from his point of view, because as Craig Levein said, that he's a makeshift striker right now from the big Canadian.
Of course, we know that. I mean, he put him up there to be aggressive. And he knows the weakness at the back for Rangers. I have to say it again. I mean, you just look at the situation. Newman thinks he has to go for it. Konteman is under pressure. He does nothing wrong for me. Maybe, if anything, he could put his left foot to, but you can see he's stretching. Everybody else, it's a little bit of luck for McKenna, but sometimes when managers and coaches make these decisions, you can get lucky. In that instance, it was a bad decision from Newman, but McKenna got a little break, and it was a telling contribution.
Well, Russell Latipi got Rangers back in this game, Charlie, but it came to Rangers with box office reviews. Is he doing enough? Do you think Rangers supporters have taken to him as they should have done?
I think they're getting behind him. We've seen it tonight from close quarters. We're right at this area where Rangers fans were. And there's no doubt that technically this guy is as gifted as anybody on his day in the country. Maybe other than Lubo Maravchik, who's more two-footed. You know, I'm talking about this position in midfield area. Was given a free role. They're given that free role. Obviously, Advocaat is telling him, we know you're talented, that's why we're taking you. Doesn't matter if it's a free transfer. You see technique like this. These are the areas, that is the areas he must get into. If he doesn't get in those areas, he's not making enough of a contribution. You've got to remember at Hibs, he might have thought he was better in terms of he had to do more. At Rangers, he doesn't have to do as much as what he had to do at Hibs. That is start reality, and until he starts to learn that and knows where the contribution is, then he'll find his way gradually eased out the team. From a Rangers viewpoint, Charlie, do you think when Flo put them 2-1 up, the Rangers thought, all right, this game is won? Well, they should have thought that. I mean, it's a case that when you're Rangers, and I said there, the build-up down the right was actually quite impressive, and there's Latipi's telling contribution in that key area again. Many times do we say, every time we see this, Jim, that, you know, when kids are watching finishers, always hit it across the goalkeeper. Don't try and risk near post, you need to be lucky. Now, he doesn't catch it that cleanly. It's a lovely layoff, and the deflection actually favours him. And it goes back towards the Emmy, but the deflection, he can't react in time, the goalkeeper. And because it goes across him, then you get fortunate. That's why we always say, get it across the goalkeeper.
Well, Stephen Simmons got fortunate, and he deserved to get fortunate tonight, didn't he? It was his night, Charlie, and this is a tremendous strike-out goal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's clever thinking from Hearts. Stevie Fulton had a very good match. It's early thought, you know, Swiggins in spot. And as you see, what the kid, he's so aware that he's got off his midfield player. He runs off Latipi to start with. You see Rickson having to back. I mean, it's like Latipi's goal.
Yes.
You know, you see like Fulton's trying to get there, Mahe's trying to get there. But when you see a bounce like that, believe me, it's so difficult to control. It's not so much about pace, it's the accuracy. And to get in off that post was tremendous. That kid looked a real find tonight. I look forward to seeing more of him this season.
Well, the result itself, Charlie, is a real boost for Hearts and Craig Levein tonight. What about Rangers then? They may go to this dubious part of the world next week. We find out, as I said, from UEFA on Monday. How are they right now looking at this stage? They're
looking vulnerable at this stage, it has to be said, and that is because of the injury problems that they have. They might only have one or two back. Even Nerlinger, if he comes back, can you risk him? He's been out for 5 weeks. It's a danger one for Dick Advocaat. Sometimes you've got to make domestic decisions, and I think Rangers will have to make them in this situation until they get their stronger players back. Then you can't give them true judgment. But do they have time? Because Celtic at the moment, 4-point gap. The pressure will always be on. It'll be on every game now for Dick Advocaat and his players. And the Rangers fans, Charlie, are quite rightly looking for Rangers to win, and win impressively over the two legs here. Yeah, and I think also it's getting to the stage that they think because they've done well in Europe under Dick Advocaat in the past that they should get through this. But no one's got that God-given right to go. You've got to earn it, and this will be a very difficult tie. And I'm still surprised they haven't signed a defender. But if you're Craig Levein, you're happy tonight. Yeah. You're very happy, given the circumstances, and he has to give young guys a chance, and he has to play a centre half at centre forward, and he scores a goal. It was a good decision from Big Craig.